Here we can see that I still have no idea how to play Blitz. So we're going to try to play Standard instead. It's like 15 minutes with a 10-second increment. I've been trying that out, and it's better for a number of reasons. The first of which I can actually speak and think at the same time. The second, I mean, look at my rating. It's 2,115. And let me warn you right now, that is provisional. My actual rating is like 40. But yeah, it's great. Let's get a 2,000 plus guy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a longer video, but it's going to be fun. And I will analyze things, I promise. I will not cop out and just stay silent the entire time or crack semi-witty jokes. I won't do that. Well, I will do that, but I'll also analyze to the best of my 1600 playing level ability. Now, if only we could get a game. Or if only I could edit video, but I can't. Oh well, I'll include an annotation to skip to the game. Okay, but we have one. 2004. Hout 14. Let's go with the Scandinavian. I've been working that one out, as some of you folks have been able to figure out by now. Queen d8 Scandinavian. It's what John Bartholomew likes to do. And so I'm going to try it, because I have no original ideas. Actually, I do, but they all involve the Latvian, which I've chosen to avoid for the time being. But yeah, okay, so this was supposed to come out first, I think. I think I just messed up the opening, but whatever. Now we're back to normal. We're going to trade off the bishop for the knight, something I wouldn't normally do, but it helps us better achieve this c6, e6 sort of dynamic so we can control the d5 square as much as we want to. At least that's the idea. So now we're going to try to bring my bishop to d6. So he does go for d4. This is all pretty booked so far. And after knight to d7 and queen to c7, I should be set up. Next I'm going to have to move my queen, get out of that pin, because it'll be annoying later. We do that. Nothing out of the ordinary so far. I haven't lost yet, which is an encouraging sign. Now we get to castle. So the e-pawn, which usually presents problems if it's pinned against the king, is no longer a problem. Because sometimes my opponents will sack their bishop for that pawn in order to get a good attack started. Okay, so he brings his queen to d3. And is attacking h7. This is actually a pretty fast-paced game so far. I would say I like it, because I do, but the whole theme is standard here. I swear, if this video is 5 minutes long, I'm not going to upload it. Anyway, bishop to h2 check doesn't do anything. None of the knights can move anywhere. I'm not really sure how I want to proceed from here, to be honest. I don't want to break the center right now. I want to save that for later. So what I want to do instead is maybe bring the queen to b6, but that's not enough pressure for the d-pawn anyway. I mean, it attacks the b-pawn, but that's not a big, or the white's b-pawn. You know what, I'm just going to grab some space, attack the queen side. The king side doesn't look very touchable right now, so I'm going to wait for him to make a move on the king side and see if I can exploit it. So now we've got b5, and maybe we can get a pawn storm going. Possibly trying to get a pawn to the a1 square promotion, something like that. So my opponent retreats their knight. Wonder why they did that. Maybe going to bring it to g3. That doesn't look likely, though, because I can just take with my bishop. I'm not sure where that knight is going to go. I have to watch out for my c6 square, because it's really weak. That's one of the problems with doing these storms. But yeah, first I'm going to play a4, and then I'm going to play b4, because now if I play a4 first, then he can't play a4 himself, and my opponent will be forced to make a trade of some kind, which is good for me. I think. I hope. My opponent could play something like queen c3 right now and just straight up attack that weak c6 square. They decide not to. Excuse me. Okay, so I really want to play like knight e4, but the bishop is in the way of that. I'm seeing if there's any way I can get rid of it. I really don't know. Now that the knight is on e2, there are some possibilities of sort of a back rank sort of thing with the king, but I doubt my opponent will let that happen. You know what? Okay, let's bring both our rooks over. So we're going all in on the king side, or the queen side. Excuse me, I still can't chess. It's too late at night for this. And by that I mean 7:48 p.m. Okay, so we've got knight to f4. I could trade. That would be a really bad idea, actually. I definitely should not trade, because then after bishop takes, it's a skewer. That knight can't really do anything, though, so I'll just leave it there. I'll just let it do what it likes. And I'm just going to go ahead and keep pushing. Keep pushing onward. Making haste. I should have moved the a rook to b8, because then that takes me out of the pin, and I can move my c pawn if I need to, instead of the other rook. Oh well, too late for that. I might consider rook a6 protecting the c pawn, but that undoubles the rooks, which is never ideal. Okay. We can take back, and my opponent will undoubtedly play c3 if I take back with the bishop. If I take back with the rook, that's a more interesting option. Then I can double my rooks and get rid of the pin on the c. Yeah, I know I'm going to do that. So now I'm attacking the b pawn, and there are definitely some threats here. Okay, moves the pawn up. So it didn't matter if it was bishop or rook. My opponent decides to do this regardless. I think moving the rook up a square is completely safe. Should be. I could move it back to b6, and once again, with that whole theme of protecting the c pawn. No, I'm going to keep it on b3, because then I can go a3 later if I want to. Actually, the bishop's protecting that anyway. Might not have been a big deal. Okay, so the knight retreats, possibly with the idea of knight c1. I don't know. Actually, no, never mind. It's just protecting the b2 pawn. That's fine. For my opponent, not for me. Should I double up anyway? Could do that. But I see no way at getting at the knight. If I double up, there's just no point. But I've already made the move because I'm really impatient. I am legitimately surprised that this guy has 2 whole more minutes than I do, considering how fast I've been moving. You know what? You should move knight to c5. I think that's a great move for you, honestly. You're attacking my knight. You're attacking my rook. It's just perfect. That's what I think you should move. Hout 14. I love puzzling over what these usernames mean. Hout could be his name, I suppose, but I'm not really sure what it means if it's not. So this one's pretty esoteric. I don't really. There's no way for me to figure that out. But anyway, back to the game. Back to this thing. Okay. So my opponent loads extra protection on the piece anyway. I think he's expecting a3, which is what I was intending to play. And if he does take, that's a blunder, because then I want a rook after rook takes b1. So if we advance, he doesn't have to take. Not by a long shot. Then I can takes, and the knight is pinned. And then I can move bishop a3. That actually looks good. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move the pawn up first. And now if my opponent's knight moves, then I can just take rook b2. That'll be completely fine. Just wins a pawn. What to comment on? I'm trying to think of what my opponent might be able to do. I'm looking at... Okay, no, that doesn't work. I was looking at knight b4, but then just bishop takes kills that. Actually, it's not bad. I mean, he gets doubled pawns, but I lose my strong bishop, and I don't win a pawn if that happens. It actually looks fine for my opponent. Okay, I actually did not see that at all. Bishop d1. Now his rooks are non-doubled, but on the side... Okay, I don't know if that did anything. I'm back. Sorry, the mic was just having some issues. On the flip side, I can go... Oh, I almost thought I could go knight e4, but I can't do that. What a shame. Should have moved your bishop to e2. Okay, so I kind of want to go a2, but I know that doesn't do anything. It just moves rook over. There's got to be some kind of tactic here, or at least a strong move, but I'm not seeing it. I think I should just retreat. Yeah, I'm going to do that. b7 or b6 is the question. We'll go b6. I'm still threatening to take that pawn. That is still a threat, but now my opponent simply pushes the pawn up and they should be fine. That's annoying. Okay. Knight d5 puts a strong knight there on the center. So that's always an option. If c4, then we have ideas with, like... Actually, no. Bishop b4 doesn't work, at least immediately. So that's not an idea. Cross that off the list. What about a2? No. After queen takes and then rook moves over. Actually, rook can't even move over. That's just hanging the rook. Yeah, I don't know. I could set up an Alekine's gun or something with, like, queen b7. Not sure how effective that would be. As long as the bishop's guarding the pawn, not very effective at all. But the bishop is undoubling the rooks and somewhat inactive, which is a plus. A definite plus. I just need to find a way to get my knight on the e4 square. That's ideal. Actually, okay, we're gonna go knight d5 first, with the idea of our 7 knight goes to f6. I was about to say d knight, but they're both on d. Goes to f6, and yeah. I have no idea what to do from here. What a surprise. There comes a time in every Lancer video where he turns to his audience and he just shrugs. And I'm pulling that card right now. I'm shrugging. Most heavily. I'll tell you right now that knight f4 does not work. I think that's what they call hanging a piece. So, knight b4? What happens if knight b4? We can trade knights, which is nice. His knight is pretty pesky. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. I did not see c5 at all. That is a major issue. I can go... Luckily, I do have the bishop check. So I can play that if need be. Bishop to h2 check, I mean. So I can escape the pin, but I don't know if it's the best idea. I feel like, yeah, because something like g3 could happen later. I don't seem to have a choice, though. Okay, we're going to go b4. And the knight move is pulled. Or the pawn move, sorry. Honestly, I don't mind. If he goes g3 after I go knight to h2 check later on, I don't mind sacking the knight for that, or the bishop for that g-pawn. Okay, I cannot talk. It's not a knight, it's a bishop. There's a difference. Yeah, the bishop. I don't mind sacking. So yeah, first I'm going to go ahead and give that check. And then I can move my rook out of the way. I'm wondering if trading knights is a good idea. If knight takes, then queen takes. That's certain. But what do I have from there? Not much. Actually, no, I can't do knight takes now anyway because the rook is there. I've got to move the rook somewhere. And I think b7 is better because bishop e2 lines up something against the rook if it goes to b5. I could always undouble them. Actually, I should be doing that because there's an a-pawn there that needs to be advanced. Okay. Didn't matter in the end. But yeah, I don't want to lose that a-pawn. It's passed, which is very powerful. But yeah, I dare you to play g3. That just looks good for me. I'm sure like Stockfish would call it a huge disadvantage for me at this point. But fortunately, my opponent is not Stockfish. I think that's my greatest claim to an advantage right now. My opponent is not Stockfish. That's what I'm going to go with. Not only are they Stockfish, but they're also not Komodo. Or anything else with an animal-like name. What is Ribka? Can someone tell me what Ribka is? Like in the comments? I don't know. Is that like a fish? It sounds like a fish, but I know I'm wrong. Ribka. Ribs. I don't know. I seriously, I have to look that up like right now. Oh, no I don't. My opponent moved. Queen e3, extra protection on the pawn. Not really lining up anything because I have that extremely awesome e6 pawn. The c6 pawn isn't really doing too much for me, but whatever. No big deal. Oh, I see. G3 is coming now, and it's a lot more potent because the queen can take back. That's a problem. Because I have nowhere to go with my bishop. That is an inconvenience. Is a mild term for it. This game is inconveniencing me. I can't go a2 because then rook a1, and then what do I do from there? a2 does nothing. Okay, I have an idea. Whoa, what did I just do? No, I don't want this. Stop. No, stop, 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 stop. Go away. Okay. Oh, so you right click. Okay. That's cool. I could use that later. Look what I'm about to do. I'm about to take this pawn. Oh wait, that's illegal. Never mind. Yeah, so anyway, I'm thinking about queen to a5. Because after... Ah, no, that doesn't work. The queen's defending the rook anyway. Ew, that just doesn't look good. Actually, I could do that after he goes g3. That's probably the best plan I've got right now. Queen to a5 with the idea of a discovered attack on the e-rook. But I don't know what to move to play as filler. I'm really not sure. I can't go knight to... All my pieces are even more locked down than his are, which is... I did not originally expect that. I could go h5. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. h5. So now I have a better chance of sort of... If he moves back instead of... I'm looking at bishop e7, bishop h4. Bishop h4 means I can play bishop g5 if I want to, but my king security is completely gone after that. h6 is as much as I can afford as far as keeping my castle relatively stable. But I'm trying to... Okay, if bishop e7, then what? That's the real question. If bishop e7, I could try knight takes d5, but then after pawn takes, queen takes e7, then the king can take the bishop anyway, and that's BS. That doesn't work out in my favor. The problem is that bishop. Actually, no, never mind, I don't know why I was thinking that. After bishop to e7, or bishop anywhere really, I can just go bishop to f4 first and foremost. That's exactly what I'm going to do, actually. I'm getting a little low on time, but I'm not worried. If I need to stop talking and start playing, I will do that. Okay, so let's play the move, kick the queen, and we've saved our bishop without compromising king security. Though that may be a thing I might do later anyway, just for the heck of it. So my opponent can go queen d3, queen c3. I mean, they all look okay. They have plenty of queen squares to utilize. Use, I should say. Utilize is such a pretentious word. Or so my English teacher tells me. Anyway, I'm looking at that d-pawn. So my opponent will most likely be able to protect it, but it's still pretty weak. There's no pawns to back it up. So there's got to be a way I can get at it. I should forget the a-pawn for now, to be honest. As long as that bishop is standing there, I'm not going to be able to do much about it. I think queen d3 is my opponent's best move because it protects g3 because I could try g5 and it also protects the d-pawn. So good play by my opponent. I really want to play knight takes c5 with the idea of rook to d8. But instead, I'm going to make the more sensible decision and just play rook to d8 first. Oh, wait. There's a bishop there. I'm bad. Okay. You know what? We're going to compromise our king safety for one pawn. We're going to do it. And we're probably going to lose that pawn later anyway when he takes the a-pawn. But yeah, let's go. I don't even care anymore. I do care. I'm just kidding. I do care. But yeah, this is the plan I'm going with now. Because okay, I could go rook d8. I could go rook d8, but I'm not sure if that'll work out for me. I really want to go rook d8. But I could also take on g3, and queen takes. Actually, pawn could take anyway. Yeah, let's go. Let's play this. So now we're threatening a discovered, or not a discovered, just sort of a take pin. I don't know what you call it. I don't chess lingo as I've established before, but taking on c5 with the knight, if his queen doesn't move out of the way, is really good. Okay, so now we have takes. I think queen takes is my best option. I don't want to open up my king any more than it already has been opened up. And now that I have that, I'm really putting some pressure on that D pawn. And if my opponent plays something like rook to e4, I can always take on f2. So this isn't looking too bad. My king isn't looking too bad, or is looking bad, but the rest of this isn't looking too bad. Standard Scandinavian. I want to play f5 just to block the queen out, but the queen isn't going anywhere anyway. It's just a pointless move. It creates more weaknesses. And if they get behind me, then my king is doomed. Something like queen a6 is a threat. In fact, queen a6 is probably my opponent's most playable move right now. Okay, but no, they line up the pieces, and it looks like my opponent's going for a queenside attack. Very nice. So f5 is an option. Don't like it too much, but it's there. I could also take d4 with the rook. I could take d4 with the queen. I cannot take c5 with the knight because after queen to h7 check, then I lose the knight. Tough call. Queen h7 is by no means a big threat, so there's that. But I do lose the h6 pawn for sure. I don't like this. I can't even go f5 because then rook takes e6. You know what? We're doing this. I'm not losing any more time than I have already. I feel like you never hear about the masters talking about time. Like you don't see Ginger GM or like King's Crusher or John Bartholomew. They don't talk about time. Even if they're playing Hyperbullet, it's like, oh, I have like 3 seconds left. Let's keep playing highly detailed and analytical chess because I'm a chess master. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you do. And they still somehow never run out of time. It's always their opponents who run out of time. It's really admirable. Okay, so now queen takes h6 check is inevitable. That's almost certainly what my opponent is going to play. And there it is. I believe king to e7 is fine because I've got the queen protecting the g-pawn. Actually, after g3, that's a bit sketchy. But g3 opens up a lot of my opponent's weaknesses too. So it's acceptable, I suppose. I certainly don't want my opponent to have an emergency check like queen to h8 because that attacks the rook, my rook on d4. So if I move my queen, then my rook is screwed. Like inherently, the emergency check is completely useless. But I don't know. I just like my king in a more, and also it opens up my rook to move to the king side. Or is it the queen? No, it's the king side. That's definitely the king side. Can confirm 100% that the H file is on the king side. Now what? I have a new mouse and a new mouse pad, which is nice. I got the SteelSeries Mini and one of those basic Logitech wireless mouses. I know wired would be better if I'm playing Bullet, but I hate Bullet. I still play it, but I hate it. So we're good. We'll lay off the wired mouse. I don't need it. Oh. Oh. Oh God. That's complete. I have no choice but to take it with my pawn. That's completely forced. Oh my god. What happens after that? Am I screwed? I think I'm... No, that's checkmate. Yeah, oh my... I lose my queen at the very least. That was a good move. I have to take, right? There's no... I have to take. Dang it. Yeah, and then queen g7. And that... Wait, no, and then I lose the rook. So, okay, so... I can live on if I lose the rook, I suppose. Because if I go king e8, then bishop g6 clinches the game. That's checkmate, forced. So I'm pretty sure this is my only option. Sad to say. Yep. That was a really good move on my opponent's part. I'm still kind of in the game? If you can call this in the game. My pawns are scattered, and I have one less. This is really not ideal. Not a great situation. But nevertheless, we must fight. It's far from over. I want to move the knight to f6, but that blocks my queen. Wow, this position just reeks. Just rancid. Okay, we're gonna just double up and try to get that f2 goodness, because we got nothing better to do. Try to make it a draw, some kind of even endgame. I'm still looking at a3. I'm still considering that. Okay, so I kind of want to go e5. E5 looks okay. I should really not be whining so much. It's just a chess game. I should be more enthusiastic. I am in some of my videos. I just sound cynical in this one. Let's go pawn up. I feel like I don't know what I want my YouTube personality to be. I want it to be genuine, but I also don't want it to be completely boring. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be something that can be enjoyed, but it's also something that I don't have to put on an act for. So queen to e3 or queen to d2 is pretty much what's going to happen here. Any other move would lose the pawn and possibly the bishop in the process. Oh. You know, I keep forgetting that there are also checks. Check is a real move. It's a real concept that real people use. God, this is so a trashy player. Okay, I'm gonna go this way, because then if the bishop can't take g5 with check, it can still take g5. Oh, right. Well, there's the blunder you've been waiting for. There's the reason you've been watching this video. Oh, Lord. Okay, so there goes my queen. Yeah, there's no way out of that. Is there? I can't see any way to attack my opponent's queen in the process. I could probably just advance the piece at this point. Let's go here. Maybe my opponent will play Rook b2 like a true champion. Truly a player of our generation. Instead, they play the most logically sound move. Is it worth resigning at this point? I don't see any way I can win this. It's worth resigning. All right, so good game to this is resign. Can't find the button. Good game to Hout 14. Very well played. I had some decent attacks here and there, but my opponent was able to block them pretty well, and that Rook Sac was just genius. It left my position in shambles. I'm pretty sure Stockfish would have rated it a clear win for him at that point, maybe +3, +4, something like that. Or I was going to say minus, but no, plus. My opponent is in fact white. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Leave any comment feedback, any way I can make these videos better. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Let me know if you like standard. This is the first time I'm doing this. It's a bit longer, a bit more prolonged, but it does allow for a bit of a deeper analysis, something I can't do with Blitz or least of all Bullet. So if standard is something that you guys would enjoy seeing, just let me know and I'll definitely make more. I'm planning on making more anyway, so there you go. Yeah, stay classy.